It is time for our MLB Insider. Ryan Divish, there he is in the Valley Furniture Store. It's brought to you by his weekly appearance talking all things Mariners baseball, Chalet Bowl, Washington's oldest operating bowling alley, proudly serving the community since 1941. They are located in Tacoma's historic Proctor District. They've been family-owned and operated for over 40 years, delivering top-notch customer service and a unique 12-lane experience. Check them out, chaletbowl.com. Book your next reservation. Experience the best in local fun. Mr. Ryan Divish joins me from the Limback Lumber Studios. He's at Valley Furniture, and of course brought to you by Chalet Bowl. Shout out to Reggie, my guy Reggie Frederick. All right, there he is. How are you, sir? The store's open. We don't see anybody in there right now. What's the hot item? What's the hot item for sale at Valley Furniture right now? What do we got a deal on anything?
We have spring flooring, flooring as well. So if you want to get some laminate flooring or some, that good laminate that for you would need, the hardwood, but it's kind of like, or it looks like a hardwood, but it's kind of almost rubberized because it helps prevent, it works great for dogs.
Our hardwoods are ruined.
Kids that track in mud, like cleats, they don't take their cleats off or they're covered in dirt.
Do you have a camera in my house?
Yeah, well, I deal with the same thing as well. So,
hey, could you go through the garage, please? And just take them off down there? Is there any chance you could do that?
Well, yeah, at least there, it's mostly the rubber particles from playing on turf a lot.
Yes.
Here, we have that red dirt, the scoria, the red dirt. So when Tyson comes home from a game or even practice, it looks like, a scene out of my cousin Vinny when he falls in the mud. And literally at times, I think Cindy has taken his baseball pants to the car wash and used the pressure washer on the car wash to try and get them out.
You can't clean them.
Yeah.
You can't clean them.
And it was like the other day we play or practice, it was 85. And the poor kid sweats like Patrick Ewing, so he slid. So.
You're so right. No one sweated more than Patrick Ewing. No one.
Pretty gross. Although I might throw Floyd Pork Chop Womack out there.
Okay.
He was one of the smelliest individuals ever after post game. You go over that corner by the offensive line, and I remember Dave Bowling you always got to go over that corner. That's where you get all the best quotes, And I'm going, yeah, right, whatever, because he's a former offensive lineman. You go over there. And the last thing I need to do is see Pork Chop Womack naked, standing there air drying with all the stretch marks and glee. It's
you're terrible. You're terrible. Well, hey, let's get a quick update on the Havre North Stars before we go to Mariners. We had a tournament this past weekend. Was it the Miles City Mavericks?
Yeah, it wasn't a tournament. It's just a doubleheader.
Okay, double dip with the Miles City Mavericks. How'd we do?
We split. We lost the first game and came back, won the second one. Probably should have won the first game. We were playing pretty shorthanded. Tyson, my stepson, and 4 other kids were gone for track.
Okay.
And so we didn't have them, including our starting center fielder and our starting right fielder. So we were missing 3 starters, possibly a 4th. So that was kind of a problem. But, actually we should have won. We were had some pitching issues in the first game. And also, this windstorm came through in the same inning where we're at, kid was struggling, and then this windstorm blows through, and I'm not shitting you, it was blowing like 35 to 40 miles an hour, and they have the dust devils you see in Western Washington or Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
Umpire wouldn't call it. He just left us to stay out there and play. Kids' hats are flying off. I'm looking at him I kept putting my arms up hey, you can pull us off the field because it was going to blow through. So our pitcher who was struggling, when he did give up contact, a couple of fly balls they hit, it was like,
you can't get it.
Yeah, and so I was just, and then of course we finally get out of that inning after about 11 runs, I think, in an inning. We get out of the inning, and the wind magically stops while we're at the break. It's perfect for we had a game just like that. And I'm
exactly the same way.
And I'm just well, that's another thing. So our one pitcher who struggled, he hit 6 kids. He's throwing 62, and he hit them with, and then what was going on is Miles City, they got the bases loaded. They're down 6 or 7 runs or 8 runs when that inning started. So bases got loaded. So they're just wearing inside curveballs and, fastballs are just taking them. They're hanging out over the plate. So the umpire comes up to me and he says, I just going to let you know that if he hits some more guys, he's just hitting too many guys and I'm going to have to throw him out. I go, why? He's not doing it on purpose. It doesn't matter. It's a safety thing. I said, show me that's in the rule book. He goes, oh, it's my judgment. I go, your judgment's off. And so then we hit a guy finally, and the guy goes, that's a warning. Next batter, you're ejected. I looked at my assistant coach, Ben, and I said, look, if they toss him, I'm going with him, and it's going to be a show. And he's like, damn it, I have the next game in the pool. Don't do it. I'm going to get tossed out first. So
is this on Game Changer? Can I follow the team on Game Changer?
Yes,
video. Can I get video?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to download it now to my phone. I'm going to put myself as a family member so I can get everything. All right. I want the full meal deal. I want to start watching this stuff.
Yeah.
This is my entertainment on a Friday night. I'm going to watch the Havre North Stars.
So, so that was interesting.
All right. It was a great game last night. They needed it. And Bryan Woo just continues to be terrific for this baseball team. We've always seen the talent with Bryan Woo, and it's always been there. It's just always been about health and longevity, being able to work later in games. And I didn't think that if you told me before the season started that he would be the best pitcher in the staff, I'd be like, oh, okay, that surprises me a little. That surprises me. But here's what I love about Bryan Woo. Because to me, he's a throwback. And what I mean is that it's fastball. It's like fastball location. And that's kind of all he throws. And it's just a reminder. I know that's not all he throws, but it's the majority of what he throws, Divish. And it's a throwback because it just reminds you that no matter how much stuff you have, right? Bryce Miller and Logan Gilbert and all these guys, they always talk about, and Kirby, how many pitches they had and they develop in the offseason. There's one pitch that still plays. It will always play. And it, from all levels of baseball, is just the fastball. And Bryan Woo is the walking case of that right now.
Yeah, they like to call it the heater, a properly placed heater. I mean, you have your idea of heaters are Marlboro Reds.
It was a long time ago.
But a properly placed heater is still the most effective pitch in baseball, because even if they do make contact, it's usually weak contact. And I think that's the thing. With Woo, though, it's different. It's not just that he throws fastballs; it's the arm slot. I know Angie was talking about it last night on the broadcast. The arm slot is 4'10" or something. He comes out so low, and there's just something rhythmic about it. You know how he does the deep breath.
Does that, and then the little thing with his hand he does.
Yeah, and he does. Yeah, he sets his hands, and then his heel goes up, and then there's a little rhythm. I bet you. Don't sell out on us Asians as being good dancers, because we are good dancers. I mean, we're underrated dancers.
Really?
I bet you he's a good dancer because he's got really good rhythm. Everything is smooth.
It's always repeatable.
And that's if you had a kid, you're looking at mechanics for a pitcher. You're obviously not showing a Matt Brash. No. Andres Munoz, who almost does a cartwheel every time he pitches. You're showing them Bryan Woo because it's under control.
Yes.
It's stable.
Yep.
He's into his legs. But so that rhythm, and so it's such a nice, slow, deliberate rhythm. And all of a sudden it's on you. And because his fastball is released so low, it's hard to pick up. And then it's got a ton of spin on it, so it just carries on you. So even when it's 95 and not 98, it just gets on hitters. They don't like it. And the two times he struggled this year is where he just didn't have proper command of the fastball. His breaking stuff is better than people think, but it's certainly accentuated by the fact that oh my God, this heater's on me. So when he does snap off a slider and it's spinning that fast, they can't pick it up anyways. And so then they look really terrible. But I mean, he's really saved them in a season where Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are on the IL and Bryce Miller has got issues. I mean, and Castillo is starting to age a little bit. He has saved them. I mean,
100%.
Winning their starts, going out and beating Max Fried, and also credit to the offense. While they didn't do a lot against Max Fried, they drove his pitch count up and made him work. I mean, Donovan Solano's greatest contribution thus far is 11 pitch strikeout. But that's how you win games. And that was I wouldn't say it's must win, but given the situation they're in and the stretch of games that they're in, like winning that game last night, was pretty big for them.
Well, they needed it though. Yeah, and I'm with you. Obviously not a must win. Nothing is a must win at this point. But you're scuffling and you've lost 4 straight. You've come home after this great road trip, and you just needed something to make sure to pause the panic button, because the panic is out there for people, because there's a good segment of the fan base, and I get it, that's waiting for that shoe to drop on them.
Yeah, I don't know if they enjoy it or they just and then there's some Stockholm syndrome to it probably from years and years, but like we've talked about, the games all count the same, and it's early stuff, but it's how you're playing in the moment that is important. Like you drop a game, but you played really well or whatever, like you'll feel okay. But like these last 5 games going into it, where you're getting your asses handed to you and giving up a ton of runs, and you're not doing much offensively, like that's you need to change that. So it's like, it's not a must win in the overall. The win counts all the same, but it goes to the 50 and 50. Every team's going to win 50. Every team's going to lose 50. These games can go into that, but it's how you're playing. It's how you get to the result that truly matters, because that's what carries you into winning games that you shouldn't as well.
He's just a great story too. Yeah. And just because, like, I have my wife, her coworker for the longest time, his son played with him at Cal Poly. So I've known, even before the Mariners took him, I knew about him just because they were friends. But his story of he wasn't that good. No. That's the thing. He wasn't even good. And I can't remember I can't remember the exact year. When did he transition to a pitcher?
So I think after his freshman year, he went more full-time pitcher. But he went to Cal Poly because most people were recruiting him as a shortstop, and he thought he was better off as a pitcher.
Yeah.
And so he went to Cal Poly with the idea he was going to pitch. I think he did hit a little bit, but he was transitioning, and that's, I think, part of the reason why he had the elbow issues, is because this wasn't built up,
Sure.
But the one thing is like when you haven't pitched your whole career and you kind of transition full time, you're as athletic as he is, because that dude's got some legs on it.
Yeah.
Like you can, you build up the mechanics the right way, you train your body the right way, all that kind of stuff. Adam Jude wrote a really good story talking about it, though, that when they were scouting all these pitchers and stuff, and they had this video on Bryan Woo and all this stuff, and they're looking at all the StatCast metrics and all the Rapsodo metrics and stuff, and arm slot and everything. Trent Blank, who's the pitching coordinator, said, "Look, I take this kid 1-1 right now. I would take him in the first round. They took him in the 5th or whatever." He goes, "He's the best pitcher that we can find, like based on everything we're looking at."
Wow.
I think he's like 1-1 of talent and
that's crazy
potential. And the Mariners took him in the 5th round.
That's just amazing for him, for Trent to look at that stuff and to get past the numbers, right? Because you can get kind of blinded by what his ERA was, because it was not good.
No,
he just wasn't good. And I wonder how much of him growing up, right? Because listen, a lot of pitchers, little league all the way through, usually the better players on the team that probably play shortstop, but him playing shortstop for as long as he did, you talked about his arm slot. I just wonder how much of where he releases it, because he played shortstop, now is benefited in being a pitcher right now.
I would think so. You remember when Paxton was so over the top, and this Lance Painter guy told him when he was down in Tacoma, like, your arm slot's wrong. And they were like, so they rolled him a couple balls like a bunt, and he threw to first, and he said, that's the arm slot, because it was more 3/4. It wasn't so over the top. It was more natural. Yeah. They felt like the more over the top part was leading to injuries as well. So that's kind of how they did it. And I think that's the one thing. Find your natural arm slot and go with it from there. Because not everybody, you can't pigeonhole everybody in the same arm slot. Yeah.
Well, and you're right. I want to go back to your point you made earlier. I don't know where they would be without him, because of all the injuries. It'd be a mess.
Yeah, they'd be
the saving grace of the rotation right now.
Yeah, because that's the thing is, like, their bullpen is still a little lacking. With Brash only. Man, he looked amazing last night.
Yeah,
it's like that. I do like that the Mariners are showing the discipline not to use him all the time. They're being disciplined that way. And they gotta build him back. And what's really big is that Jackson Coar and Trevor Gott are starting to throw on rehab assignments. So then, your talent level in your bullpen is starting to kick up a little bit, because I just think it's really hard sometimes when you were running Trent Thornton as your eighth inning guy. I like Trent, but I just don't think he's that guy. Gabe Speier though. Ooh,
well, Speier, but yeah, Thornton's not. He's just not a high leverage guy. Now you've got two great I think we all agree you have two great high leverage arms down there with Speier and Matt Brash.
Yeah. So then if you bring Gott, if you bring Trevor Gott and Coar back, then all of a sudden your depth gets a little bit better, and then that allows Troy Taylor to kind of figure out his command issues. That he just, if you look, like I was watching the other night, his slider either misses well out of the zone or it hangs on that half in the same half. And I mean, like, once teams can pigeonhole that, like, hey, it's either way miss, or else it's a strike right on the inner half, they'll go up searching for it. And we saw that thing get hit. And he's got really good stuff, but it's just location and just trying to execute and maybe getting out of some of the patterns that you're in as well.
The Brash at bat against Judge, that's like baseball porn right there.
Yeah, and Brash's got that kick changeup that he's throwing, which I like, but you don't fall in love with it because you still got 98 and you got the best slider in baseball.
Yeah, it was and that's all it was, right? 3 straight sliders there at Aaron
Judge. You ever
Judge.
seen how Brash holds his slider? So his fingers are so, and this is great radio, but his fingers are so.
We're not on radio, but that's okay.
Whatever. His fingers are so like bendy, and like almost double jointed that. He puts his
Does he put the index on top of the middle finger?
On top of his middle finger a little bit, and then he wires them out, and then his middle finger almost curves a little bit. Like, so I saw pictures of him.
So is he adding more? Hold on. So is he at the index, right? He's on for those listening, okay? He's got his index on top of his middle finger.
Yeah.
Is he pressing down with the index?
Yeah.
Or not? Is he elevating it?
I think no, he's pressing down. It's not like spiked. It's kind of down.
Okay.
And like, I don't know. I mean, you'll have to search it one time, but it's crazy. And then, like, I asked, I think it was one of the other guys, maybe Kirby, about it. Kirby's like, well, his fingers aren't normal. How are we supposed to, like, I can't make my hand do that.
Yeah.
So that's it's a wipeout pitch.
You got to get Jude to do a story on it. Matt Brash's fingers.
Well, we did a story on it a long time ago, and they were, I think, kind of making fun of his hands about like how weird his fingers were. But then again, also, he was he's an athletic guy. And that's why, like, I mean, I hate to credit, because of my college days and my absolute hatred of all pitchers for the most part. I hate to credit with them with being athletes, but the Mariners have some pretty athletic pitchers. Like Brash, and Munoz was a triple jumper in high school, like a nationally ranked triple jumper in high school.
He was? Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
Like, he was, so like when he was younger.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
They were contemplating, like, they wanted to send him, like in Mexico they do a sports academy.
Yeah.
So he was like one of the top triple jumpers in all of Mexico, but he also threw 94 or something like that. So he know what to do.
Clue.
Like, so he gave up triple jumping, but supposedly there's video of him out there. It's like,
oh, that's awesome.
Elite level stuff.
Huh.
Because you look at him, you don't think triple jump.
No, I would never think triple jumper or triple jump there for Andres Munoz. Yeah, well, that was a great at bat last night. It was just a great game. I mean, overall for that entire pitching staff to do that to that offense, for them to go, I think they were 0 for 15 with runners in scoring position. It was just, it was incredible to watch. Where are we? And it looks like Kirby's coming back soon. I think he makes his final rehab start Friday. So then reinforcements on the way. Gilbert threw a bullpen yesterday. They're going to take it slow with him, but it seems, he's getting closer and closer to coming back. Do you think at all, I mean, would they make the decision now with Bryce Miller? Do you think there's a situation where they could shut Miller down at all, or it hasn't come to that point yet?
No, it hasn't come to that point yet. But what they could do is skip a start, keep him up without putting him in the IL and skip a start and do it that way, especially when George comes back. You could manipulate your roster enough that you could do that. Just have him there, skip a start, look at your off days, and that may be what they're doing anyways. I haven't looked at the schedule a ton, but, also they got the White Sox coming up. That could be a get-right game too, just as easily. So, I mean, I think it doesn't look right coming out, but is it physical? Because like he said, he's dealing with some physical stuff too. Like, what I think it was his back or whatever. But a lot of times, like, everybody always automatically thinks when the velocity is down 1 to 2 miles an hour, it's an injury. Sometimes, though, if you're out of sync with your mechanics, that will sap you 1 to 2 miles an hour because, like, the whole idea of staying connected with your body and you're getting the proper release point and, staying behind the ball, if you're off, that will take away the 1 to 2 miles per hour. And, what you find sometimes is, like, if your back is sore, or if your legs are tired, you got a leg issue, that will put your mechanics out of whack to take that part of it out. It's not always arm related. That was one of the things about, like, they talked about with Felix Hernandez when his command went away. It wasn't that his arm was the issue. It was that he wasn't physically strong enough or trained enough to do the goofy windup, with the full tilt and everything like that. He couldn't repeat it anymore. So that's why his command fell apart, is because he didn't have the core strength and the leg strength to do the windup to make that pitch work, or to make his pitches work, to consistently throw the ball where he wanted to. And so maybe that's something that Bryce is dealing with, not necessarily an arm issue, but like, if you're physically not in the way you want, you can't do the mechanics the way you want.
What confidence-wise, he seems kind of shot in that department from a mental standpoint, just the way that he kind of addresses everything after every game.
Well, I think for him, it's like, you've done all this work in the offseason. You put in so much time. You've built up your repertoire. You've done all this stuff to make yourself an effective big league pitcher. And like, so much, I think, coming off of last year, he expected a lot. And then his money pitch, the one pitch that got him to the big leagues and the one pitch he could always fall back upon, hasn't been the same. Some people might wonder if because he's doing all this other stuff, that, like, the heater, he lost the heater because he's done all this other stuff with all these other pitches. I don't think so, because he was throwing 98 in spring training. I just think, the wear and tear of a lot of innings and everything else, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. Maybe there is some fatigue there that he's going to have to figure out, or if it's something else physical. But I think that will shake your confidence, is when the one pitch you've always relied on in your entire career isn't there, and it isn't, it doesn't feel right, and it's not looking right, and all the results tell you it's not right. That shakes your confidence, because again, you're trying to trying to go against the best hitters in the world, knowing that your best weapon isn't working all the time. That's a problem.
Yeah, and I wonder if he needs to probably. I talked to Kruger about it this week, and I wonder if he needs to pull back on because on most starts he's talking about how sore his arm is, and maybe just stop talking about it. I don't know. I mean.
Well, I figured Kruger would tell you just had to throw more. Well, you got to get up to 180 pitches before you really feel good.
Yeah, that's the Kruger we know and love. Hey, last thing for you. It's a shortened show today. I gotta head to the Mariners game for a Sweet 16 birthday party. Huh? We're gonna surprise our daughter.
Did you get her a car?
Well, she already has a car. Okay. Yeah, she's had a car.
Well, I thought you could only drive at 16.
Yeah. Well, she's had a car. I mean, she's not driving it, but we've already got her a car like a while ago. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has she snuck it out like me? No.
What kind of car is it?
Like a little Volkswagen Jetta.
Okay. So I figured you go Subaru, something safe,
Yeah, a little Volkswagen Jet's a cute little thing. You start it, then the heat blasts on for 30 seconds, hot heat, and then it finally shuts down, which is great.
Well, my sister, her kids they live in Parker, Colorado, which is like Richville.
Yeah.
Like I think Mitch Garver lives in the same development up the hill from my sister. There's a few other pro athletes, and my niece goes to Legends High School, where Jake Heaps will be the head coach of the football team. Oh,
nice.
There. Okay. It's a 5A school. My niece's first car as a 16-year-old,
Audi.
BMW X5.
There you go.
It's used, but I mean, like,
doesn't matter if it's used.
Meanwhile, my sister's driving like a Honda Pilot,
Jesus. This car's got dents in it. The heater turns on.
Because I feel like
it rattles. I'm like, this is what you need.
I need that rite of passage. Like, what wasn't yours? I had a
Toyota Celica. It was a piece of shit.
Yeah, my first vehicle was my dad's. Like, I took my dad's truck, and it was this big ass Chevy Silverado, and it had a 454. So like, I could burn rubber on it. Like, and then my dad kind of like looked at me, looked at my background, my ethnic heritage, and said, "You're a terrible driver, and we're not going to have a truck with one of the fastest engines in all of Montana."
I love that. All right, quickly, Castillo. Should we be concerned?
No, I don't think so. I do think that like this version of Luis Castillo, I don't think it's going away. I do think his velocity will kick up as the season goes a little bit, 1 to 2. But he's got to learn to pitch when it's not, when everything's not working. And I really just think the feel for, like, he's just, you look at how he pitches, again, not his mechanics aren't somebody you teach him, he kind of slings it. But I think he just has lost feel for his slider at times and his changeup at times. And you have to have your secondary pitches when your fastball isn't carrying the way it used to.
Yeah. All right. Have fun today working at the furniture store. Say hello to everybody. Sell something. Let us know the deals. Good luck to the Havre North Stars. What do we got upcoming on the schedule?
We're scrimmaging one of the summer college teams tomorrow night here. It's like they promote, and then the Great Falls Voyagers. It's fair because we have our pitcher pitch for them and their pitcher pitches for us.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. It's a good idea.
I'm going to pitch the kid that hit 8 and walked 7 or whatever against our own guys. So a little redemption story there. And then we open conference play on Sunday in Great Falls.
The Great Falls
Chargers.
Stupid name. It's a football name. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Great Falls.
So those are pretty big. And mostly I'll just be sitting at home and cursing the Oklahoma City Thunder every night.
That's right. We need the Nuggets to knock them off. Come on, Denver. Pick it up. Let's go, Denver.
Dude,
all right.
Michael Porter's terrible.
He's not good. I don't know what's happened to him. He used to be good, but he's not good anymore. It's falling apart. All right, Divish. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, sir.
Sounds good, man.